this is 80k. Yeah, I've decided to try being on screen. Let me know in the comments how it goes so that I can decide if I should do this often or not. Now in this video, we're going to try to make slap house. This genre has this pet name car music, probably because of this EDM Spotify trend where a lot of the older and newer viral songs gets remixed into slap house. Slap house with its slap bass is already great to listen in car because of the bass that slaps. So when these tracks have lyrics that are quite recognizable, it's a great formula to be called that name. That is why I chose the song Alan Walker's Faded. I already brought it into the DAW and changed the tempo of the project to match that of the song.
You were the shadow to my light.
Now I want to change this tempo to something like a usual slap house one, which is around 120. So first I'm going to split this audio clip around the 9th bar, and then I'm going to change this to 120. Now the logic here is that whatever tempo I choose, this whole 8 bar section should fit in that measure. So if I change it to 120,
You were the shadow to.
it's completely off. So applying the logic, if we hold down Control and Shift, we can drag its end and fit it inside the 8 bar section.
You were the shadow to my light.
Yeah, it works. I think I'm gonna go with 115 as the tempo.
You were the shadow to my.
Yeah, that's cool. So I'm gonna stretch it back now. I'm not yet on a level where I can identify the chords from a song, so I looked up at the internet and found these chords and then drew it on the piano roll.
You were the shadow to my light. Did you feel us? Another star. You.
Yeah, it's pretty accurate. Now let's move on to sound designing slap bass, which is the most important part of slap house. So here we have Vital, and we're gonna start off by selecting a pretty aggressive wavetable for oscillator 1. I'll choose a factory one so that everyone will have access to it. Let's pull it down 1 octave. Now we are going to enable filter 1 onto which it is being directed, and then automate this filter cutoff with one of the LFOs. Like that. Let's increase the speed. Now this is in loop, so we're going to turn it into envelope. Yeah, I could have used an envelope from here, but with the LFO I'll be in sync with the tempo of the project. And now we are going to change the shape like this, and the filter shape to a 24 dB slope. Let's increase this. Okay, now I'm gonna enable the second oscillator. That's going to filter 2. It should go to filter 1. Okay, let's pull it down 1 octave. And I want to apply FM from oscillator 1. Cool. Let's play around with the unison. Let me try pulling this pitch down. I'm also going to enable the third oscillator to give it a stable bass. No, it has to go to filter 1. Okay, let's go to effects. I'm going to enable compressor. Alright, distortion. Now we need a little bit of transient in the beginning. One way to do this is to enable the sampler, which is a white noise, and automate this level here with an envelope. Envelope 2, directed to level. There is that transient. Let's try directing it to direct out, so none of the effects will be applied. Maybe routing it through the effects is a good thing. And now I'm going to do a little bit of pitch automation, which is going to add some more transient with this same envelope here. This is the master pitch of this plugin, which you can hear. So I'm going to automate this same pitch here with that short envelope. Cool, that's almost a pretty good slap bass. Now I'm going to try out making a pattern. By the way, I already added this click and clap. Click? What? I mean kick and clap already in here so that I can get inspired from it. Alright, so now we are going to pull down this chords, and then we are going to work with the bass notes here. Let me try something. the motif? Yeah, it's missing the sidechain. Let me direct it to the sidechain bus, which I have already set up. It did take some time, but I came up with this bass line. We can make it more interesting. I already tried this thing, which is something I have been hearing in a lot of the slap house tracks that I have referred. This thing here. Okay, then we can try some pitch slides. For that, I'm going to select the notes I want to apply the slides onto, and then copy them 1 octave up, and then make the starting of each note lag by a little bit, like that. Now we are going to Vital plugin, then turn down the voices to 1 so that only one note will be played at a time. Then increase this glide time and then turn on legato. So we will have this thing going on. Yeah, there's the glide. Now let's spice up this bass even more. For that, I'm going to select the whole MIDI clip and then bounce it into an audio track. And then we are going to take this piece here like that, bring it down, and then reverse it by going into process, apply effect, reverse. Then we are going to place it around the end of that section like that, and it should sound like this. Yeah, we're gonna do that a few times. Just don't overdo it. So now listen to this section and this drop. It just continues on. So we would like to add some more stuff in here to keep the interest. First, we will deal with the percussion because it's much more easier. Let's use this loop here. I'm going to drag it in. 1, 2, 3, 4. This loop has to fit inside 4 bars. And there we go. Well, it was a little too loud. Let me reduce that and direct it to drums. I don't want this clap in here. We already have a clap, so it's gonna be like this. So this is our main loop. What's following is a repetition, so I'm going to split it here and delete the rest. Now we can just duplicate this. I can cut this out. Yeah, like it. Now we're going to add some tonal elements. I kind of want to include the main lead in the original song. So let's try creating a sound like that. I'm going to add Vital. In the original song, I kind of hear a little bit of triangle sound. I'm not sure if that is how it is. We'll pull this 1 octave up. Survey, please. We do need a little bit of unison, so I'm going to play around with that. Now this time I'm going to try FM modulating it from oscillator 1. Okay, now we are going into add some chorus, reduce it, some delay. I like to make it ping pong, reverb. We need a little bit of pitch slide, so make it one voice, and we need a slide like this. Always glide. Okay, unison, decrease a little bit. 1 octave up. This glide is a little too much. I think we got the sound. Time to write down the MIDI for that. Maybe. Yep, that's the right notes. This is going to sidechain. I just modified it while it repeats. Maybe we should add a little bit of white noise. Now let's work on the words and the build-up of the song. In a lot of slap house tracks, we can hear the presence of Reese bass in these sections. So we are also going to make one. Since we already used Vital to make two of the sounds in the same song, let's try a different plugin in order to be more informative. So here's the plugin Surge, and this is the oscillator of this plugin. Now let's pull up the unison voices down here. Then we will go to oscillator 2 and pull down this octave to -1. We need to unmute the oscillator too. Now if we look in the filter configuration, we can see how the audio signal flows inside this plugin. So from the generator section, the audio signal flows to the F1 block, which is filter 1 here. So I'm going to click here and turn it into a low pass filter. 12 dB or 24 dB? Let's first try with 12 dB. Maybe 24. Okay, let's use that. Even though the filter 2 is connected in series with filter 1, I'm just going to pull this filter balance way to the left, completely eliminating the presence of filter 2. I also want to add a little bit of delay, so we click the effects block here and then click here. Then we choose delay. Let's go with a ping pong 1/8. Okay, that's a little too much. That should be enough. Now a little bit of reverb. So I'm going to click the next block and then click here, reverb, then dry. Okay, now I also need a little bit of portamento, that is the same glide effect in Vital. Okay, the play mode is in poly, which means multiple notes can be heard at the same time. What we need is mono, so that only one note can be heard. Yeah, there we have it. Now we're going to pull down this piano MIDI to the Reese bass track and then remove all the top notes. Now in order for the portamento to work properly, we need the notes to overlap like this. In the context of the song, it sounds like this.
You were the shadow to my light. Did you feel us? Another star, you fade away. Afraid I ain't.
Alright, now that I hear the piano with this, let's choose a different piano.
You were the shadow to my light. Did you feel us?
Okay, now we need to remove the low end of the piano because the Reese bass is occupying the low end. So we click here, select piano track, and we go to EQ. Let's cut it out.
You were the shadow to my light. Did you feel us? Another star, you fade away.
Now let's add some snare or clap in the build-up. For that, I have already added this sample in the complete control sampler, and we are going to make a MIDI pattern around here. And for that, I actually want to use this MIDI. I'm going to copy this and then remove all that we don't want. Now if we hear this, it's going to sound pretty awful. So we're going to open this and then remove the notes that we don't want. Pull this up to C5. Okay. This way, we are actually introducing the motif of the slap bass pattern that is going to eventually come in the drop. But still, I would like to have some changes in the clap, like this. Now, we are going to duplicate this. Yeah, that's our pattern. We're going to duplicate this whole MIDI thing. So now,
Are you now? Where are you now?
we probably don't need the last bit of that. We should stop around here, maybe?
Imaginary.
No?
Were you only imaginary? Where are you now?
We can also do a little bit of pitch automation in the sampler. So I'm going to hit automation right enable, then play and move this parameter. So here we have it, and we can automate the pitch of the clap towards the end.
Was it all in my fantasy?
Well, of course not that much. Just this should be enough. Slow curve.
Were you only imaginary?
We can also introduce this drop lead. We're going to take this and place it in the build-up. And then I'm going to duplicate this. And then we are going to add an effect plugin, which goes by the name Fat. It's just a filter plugin, very easy to use. And we're going to change this to low pass, pull down the resonance all the way down, and then automate this cutoff. And here we have it. It's in the back, but it's still there, slowly giving the idea of the lead coming in. Anyway, moving on, I added this kick and snap in the beginning. So in the context of the song,
You were the shadow to my light. Did you feel
I also modified our second repetition of the lead to work with the slap bass. But we still have the other lead which is longer. And with the duplicated lead, it will sound like this. Now all that's remaining is just adding some effects like white noise, rises, impacts, and so on. So here are the effect samples that I added for the build-up. I'll play a few of them one by one. So all of them work together to give this. And we also have something in the intro. That's a vocal and piano reversed. I also added T-Force Alpha plugin because I felt the build-up was kind of blank, so I added this. The snare build-up that we made before, I turned it into a clap. It used to be a snare sample, now it's a clap. And I took a snare and used it to do this. And we're done. So here is a preview.